Hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm joined by Mr. George Alexander Muthoot of Muthoot Finance in this discussion. So thanks very much for taking out the time. Let me get down straight to the point. You heard the RBI governor speaking. What were your key takeaways from what he expressed? And were you happy about the fact that finally there's been some targeted approach to make sure that there is ample liquidity for the NBFC spaces?
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I hope you're all safe and will be fine at Bombay. So RBI, I had also listened to the RBI governor's talk. The TLTRO 2.0, I think that's what he mentioned, is a big shot in the arm for all the NBFCs because he has himself admitted that the first TLTROs have actually gone to the public sector NBFCs or the PSU NBFCs, etc. So the smaller NBFCs and microfinance did not get money. So the TLRO 2, which is 50,000 rupees, which he has said as the first tranche, he said that 50% is going to small and mid-sized NBFCs and microfinance. I think that is one of the best things the Reserve Bank governor could have got done now. Because although we all saw this TLTRO coming, but finally it was not being percolated down to smaller NBFCs. I think this is a very, very good suggestion and very, very good move, not suggestion I should say, by the Reserve Bank. And I'm definitely happy about this, what the governor has now done.
And in fact, he has mandated that 50% of the 50,000 be specifically towards small and mid-sized NBFCs and microfinance lenders. So that takes care of it too. But the quantum itself, he did say that as and when more is required, they will step in. For starters, is 50,000 enough? Because this 3-month moratorium would have definitely left a cash gap in the system for most NBFCs.
Sure, I don't think 50,000 would be sufficient. But of course, he generally stressed the point that this is the first installment and probably more of it would come. So, of course, they have not made any specific commitment, but he has said that after this, we should be expecting more of the same thing for the smaller NBFCs. I think that's also a good thing to look forward to.
So, for Muthoot Finance as of now, are there any credit requirements, funding requirements, and do you expect any sort of through this particular route which is opened up, any sort of money to come your way?
No, I think we have adequate funding because fortunately we had gone for an external commercial borrowing of $1 billion. So we got it in the last 4 months in 2 tranches, 2 months back and 1 month, 3 months back and 1 month back. So that translates to about 7,000 crores, which actually is definitely lying with us. That money is definitely lying with us in cash, and that is certainly helping us to have definite confidence for months together with regard to all our any type of obligations or liabilities which can come. And certainly, I think it can help us to get to increase our business also once branches are opened. So I think last night at 10 o'clock, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Central Government, Delhi has actually permitted NBFCs to open their branches, of course, with all sorts of precautions, etc. So we will be in stages opening our 5,000 branches all over India, looking at the red zone, yellow zone, etc., and then looking at the availability of staff, etc. We will be gradually able to open.
Okay, so let me ask you, what did you make of the moratorium period that has been extended for payments due by March 1st? And does that reduce the impact on the asset quality in your Q4 reportage?
See, Muthoot Finance is unique in the sense that 90% of our portfolio is in the gold loan, and in the gold loan there are no EMIs. In our Muthoot Finance gold loan there are no EMIs. It's all bullet repayment. It is given for 1 year. Although because it is given for 1 year, customers can make payment at any time because we don't have any prepayment charge. So usually the loan gets closed in 4 to 5 months time. 4 to 5 months is the usual period. Now, if you give a moratorium of 3 months, it doesn't actually affect us at all. But then, what can say is those which have crossed the 12 months period and probably we'll have to give them another 3 months more. But that usually, even without a moratorium, if people ask, we used to postpone their auctions and keep those accounts in our books, probably as an NPA. But since the gold is already with us, we don't have any issue. And today, the gold price is so high that today our LTV, loan to value, which is mandated as maximum of 75%, today it is around 50-51% only. Because the gold price is so high. So we have such a lot of elbow room and a margin with us. So even a 3 month, giving 3 months extension for payment to these gold loan customers actually is of no issue for us at all. In fact, it will help the customers. And our collateral is extra safe today.
Okay, got that. So even on a 1 year rolling basis in this period, by the end of Feb, March, if there were any repayments to come about, even those are secured. I mean, you still have collateral against those loans, and have those loans been given an extension?
Yeah. Usually we have about 3% or 3.5% of our loans which are crossing the 12-month period. And our option is to actually either give them a little more time or to auction the gold. Now, in the next 3 months, we may not be auctioning the gold, so the gold will remain with us. But definitely, even without us asking for it, many customers will come and take back their gold. Even during the moratorium, even if you don't ask, they will come and take back. But we will not send any auction notice, etc. We will give them 3 months more time. But then it will not impact us at all.
Mm-hmm. So, if I may ask, what is what's your cost of funding at this point?
Our cost of today's borrowing should be in the region of 9 to 9.5%.
Okay, and now that all of these measures have been taken in order to bring down yields, do you feel that the corporate bond spread will also come down, and this will be beneficial to even bring down cost of borrowing for yourself?
I think so, but then today the market is not so active, even in the corporate bonds or the CP market, etc. is not active today. Probably once things get calmer, a little more calmness comes into the market, then the corporate bond market, the CP market, etc. Will start looking up. Today, people are not really investing in the corporate bond. Other than when the TLTRO comes, people may invest in that or bring up corporate bonds. But otherwise, nobody is doing any immediate private placement or not private placement or any public issue of corporate bonds today. Last 2 months, nobody has come out. So everybody is now waiting and watching. But your question whether the rates will come down, I think it may, but we'll have to wait and see, because today nobody has any view on the rates because there is not much transactions happening.
Right. So, obviously now, while you have good collateral coverage for the loans that you've already given out, do you feel that now, in order to make sure that your offtake or your that picks up, it's going to take some more time for the AUM size to increase?
So actually, we got the permission last night, and from last night only. So from Monday, we'll be gradually opening our 5,000 branches, looking at the local conditions where we are able to open, where there is no red zone or yellow zone, etc. We start opening the branches. My gut feel says there will be a lot of demand for funds, because today what India needs or the economy needs is demand. So I heard the bank governors also say that there is a 30% or 37% contraction in the demand in the economy. So that can happen only when people get more money in their hands, whether they get it as salary, wages, or loans. People, when they get money in their hands, demand will start perking up. So one of the very good methods for this is the gold loan, because now probably banks, etc., may be little shy to give loans to not the best of customers. So I'm sure many banks would have actually tightened their norms for personal loan, etc. Sure. So when such is the case, when people need money and they all have gold, because such a lot of gold is actually in the country, we are the best persons. Muthoot or gold loan companies are the best persons to monetize this and give purchasing power to the people. Actually, they need purchasing power today. Whether individuals, small businessmen, families, they need purchasing power. And gold loan, that's what I said. When the branch opens, I'm sure there will be good demand and offtake for gold loans. That's we have not opened the branch, but that's my experience which tells me.
I'm sure, sir. So, but let's talk about then this by the end of FY20 and the beginning of FY21. When you cross this period, do you feel that you will more than compensate for the losses of this period in terms of AUM growth? Because of the increased demand, because of the banks being shy and all those reasons you mentioned?
Yeah. We had done well in Q3. We have been going well in Q4 also, except for the last 15 days. But the last 15 days, probably our growth would not have come. But I'm sure you will be surprised. I can't tell you any numbers now. You will be surprised about the growth, etc., which will be there in this year. So because of because I'm not able to give any numbers, but then I think Q4 we lost only 15 days in the whole year. In the whole year, we just lost 15 days. And in New Year, probably Q1, if we are able to open the branches and start functioning by 1st of May, etc., the 2 months we feel can compensate for the 1 month which we lost, that April month which we lost. I think we'll be able to compensate if things get better. But overall, Q1 may not be very bad.
Okay. So what happens to branch expansion plans then?
Beg your pardon?
Branch expansion plans. Did you have any plans?
Yeah, of course. We usually have about 200, 300 branch expansions every year. This year also we'll do it, but last 1 month, etc., nothing has happened because no construction, no thing is happening. Physical construction of the branches is not happening. But that also, I think, construction also is gradually coming up. We should be able to open our projected 250 plus branches this year also.
Right. Mr. Muthoot, you sound incredibly positive. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and all the best for the reopening of your 5,000 branches in a staggered fashion. And hopefully we'll see a reflection of that in the numbers, and maybe even Q1 FY21 be able to compensate for the losses of this month. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, I think I would like to have one final word, that all our 63 regional offices and most of the branch staff are now actively engaged in CSR work, because they are all over the country. They are going out helping with the police, the hospital authorities, the public, food distribution, whatever, medical, whatever. So actually, a lot of activities are happening on the ground. That's definitely
great to hear, sir.
We're very, very happy about that. And our staff is also very much happy to do it. As promoters and family, we are also very happy. Just wanted to tell you that also.
Yes, sir. That's great to hear, sir. But I wish you and your staff stay safe as well in the process. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Kerala is little better off than other states today.
Of course. It's on the improvement list and it's doing really well. Thank you so much.
We are used to lockdowns, madam.
Okay.
Because of Hartal and Band, we are very much used to lockdowns here. Only small difference. Lockdown and Hartal is very small difference.
So thank you. So thank you so much for joining us. All right, that was Mr. George Alexander Muthoot, not really perturbed by this lockdown that they had of 15 days, saying they can more than compensate in Q1. If those 2 months from May, the business starts picking up, they will compensate for all the missed business in this period of 15 days of lockdown. And they're already starting the process of reopening their 5,000 branches in the next day or two. Thank you so much for watching.
According to a recent